Hi, I'm Rachael Forrest. I've been a qualified acupuncturist for 22 years and I've specialised in treating fertility for about 20 of those. And I set up and run the Natural Fertility Centre in Edinburgh. And I also manage our food state supplements, NFC Essentials, because we have learned over the years that you can't ignore nutritional health if you're dealing with fertility. Egg and sperm quality and nutrients in blood are vital. So I'm excited to contribute to Fertility Road's summer issue, and my article is all about how acupuncture can help in the different stages of IVF. We do like, as acupuncturists, to see you 3 months before you start any artificial reproductive techniques, if possible, because there's so much that goes on in people's bodies that might be contributing to fertility problems. But if you can't come then we're also happy to see people just around whatever IVF type you're going through, whether it's just a frozen embryo transfer, whether it's ICSI or egg donation or sperm donation. That's all fine with us, but we always look at the whole picture. We look at whether you have migraines or digestive issues or fatigue, circulation problems. That's all part of what we do, rather than just putting pins in certain places at certain times of the IVF process. So the needles we use are tiny, they're surgical, stainless steel, they're all like little hairs or pins. They aren't hollow, so nothing goes in or comes out, and they're discarded after use, they're never used again. So everything's sterile and shouldn't hurt when it goes in. It's virtually pain-free, but sometimes it does depend on how tense the patient is, or sometimes it just there's a little tweak, but it's hardly ever more than that. So what you should feel though is relaxed and calm after a treatment, and that's what we want to achieve. So the two most important things that acupuncture does during IVF treatments and always is that it really boosts circulation, and it also works on the parasympathetic nervous system, which is also known as the calm and connect or rest and digest nervous system. So this works in counterbalance to fight or flight, which is the one we don't want activated for fertility purposes. So it calms everything down and helps blood flow to the uterus, to the ovaries and throughout your body, and helps your experience of the IVF process be easier to deal with, because hopefully with the acupuncture you'll feel calmer and more able to cope. And what I found over the years is that helps if you need to go through multiple IVF processes. It helps you able to cope with that and go through them. So the main phases of IVF are the down regulation, down regs as it's known, stims, stimulation phase, egg collection and embryo transfer. And acupuncture works in all these phases slightly differently, but always looking at calming anxiety and stress and always boosting circulation. The down regulation phase is now much easier, I think, for women to deal with than it used to be, because the drugs are less hardcore. So people, when I started fertility acupuncture, people used to suffer a lot of menopausal symptoms like migraines and fatigue, and that seems to be much less now. So we, again, an acupuncturist will focus on what's going on in the background and keeping you calm. And I see a big part of my job as being well informed, so I can answer people's questions, because quite often during the IVF the nurses or consultants don't have time. So I'm also there to support you in other ways, and also to know when to refer back to consultants. During the stims, the stimulation phase, this again is also better managed than when I started. We have the anti-Müllerian hormone test now, which gives the consultant an idea of how you should respond to the stimulating drugs. So there's less chance of OHSS, which is ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, and an acupuncturist will help to either boost the ovaries. There's an acupuncture point over the ovaries called Palace of the Fetus, which we use to help stimulate the ovaries, depending on what scans have shown and your blood tests have shown, or to deal with any symptoms of OHSS if that looks like it might be happening. And then egg collection is the most traumatic, I think, physically, but we deal with internal bruising or bloating, stiffness and pain, so that when the time comes to transfer the embryo, it's much easier on your body. And then pre and post embryo transfer, we also work on the body holding the embryo in place and keeping you calm. And you don't need to necessarily come in immediately pre and post embryo transfer, but whatever you can manage is good. So that's the outline of my article. I hope it helps you understand how acupuncture can work with you in IVF. And if you've got any questions, please just contact me through thenaturalfertilitycentre.uk. Thank you.